Konbanwa, good evening. I know in AMA you always respond to Japanese phrases, right? Konbanwa. Thank you. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. So we are delighted to have this evening amidst us. This is, I would say, a very small and informal gathering, but at the same time, a very warm get-together to bid a fond farewell and extend our greetings and felicitations to one who has been so near and dear to us, one who has been our friend, philosopher, and guide for the past 22 months. And ladies and gentlemen, he's none else but our distinguished chief guest. Nonetheless, though he's a very close friend, he's our distinguished chief guest for today. May I request you to put your hands together for Mr. Ryoji Noda, Consul General of Japan in Mumbai. Noda-san, thank you very much indeed. It's a great privilege to have you here today. And along with Mr. Noda, I would also like to make a very special mention first of some of our Japanese friends who are here this evening from Mumbai and Ahmedabad as well. Starting from Ahmedabad, friends, it is very heartening. In fact, I used to mention, Imai-san, that there was a time here, I remember my good old days of the year 1972, when it was the beginning of the relations between Gujarat and Japan. That was when our exchange program had just started in the early 70s. I was in the second batch. And we used to say that if you want to see two Japanese faces in Ahmedabad, you had to wait for 1 full year, because the only two faces you could see were the two Japanese exchange students who used to come here. There was very little formal relations between Gujarat and Japan at that point of time. And today, the Japanese have an association in Ahmedabad. And it's not just 5, 15, 25, or 50. It is more than 110 Japanese living in the association. And I want to very specially welcome the chairman of the Japanese Association and the CEO of the Hitachi High Rail, Dr. Kazuhiro Imai. Let's give him a warm round of applause. And the vice chairman of the Japanese Association here is Mr. Kitamura, the also Director General of JETRO. In fact, Kitamura-san does not greet us with konnichiwa, he just says kemcho majama. Because for him, you know, being here in JETRO has been such a wonderful, close experience that he's become half Gujarati for all practical purposes. So friends, we're very happy to welcome both the dignitaries from the Japanese Association. We're also very happy to welcome amidst us the Consul for Cultural Affairs, Mr. Yukio Uchida. Uchida-san is here. A round of applause for him. And the chief representative for the Japan Consulate in Mumbai, who's advisor for the political and general affairs, and a very dear friend and an old associate, Mr. Rajendra Sharma. We also welcome him. So first and foremost, we would like to extend our floral felicitations to all these wonderful guests. And may I request Mr. Rajiv Mehta, the president of the Ahmedabad Management Association, to present flowers to Mr. Noda, please. And in his dual capacity of Vice President of the Indo-Japan Friendship Association and also the Honorary Treasurer of the Ahmedabad Management Association, I'll request Mr. Divyesh Radia to present flowers to Dr. Imai. And it is in fitness of things that the chairman of our Indo-Japanese Economic Cooperation Council and our past president, Mr. Yatindra Sharma, present flowers to Kitamura-san, the chief of JETRO, Ahmedabad and Gujarat. And I would request our Vice President, Ms. Malti Mehta, to please step down a few steps and welcome Mr. Uchida, or let him come up. I think he's very shy, but he should come up at least to receive flowers from us here. Huh? Uchida-san, dozo. Friends, he's the Consul for Cultural Affairs. A warm round of applause for Uchida-san. Mr. Uchida has played a very special role. I'm going to mention about that a little while later. And I would request Mr. Rajendra Sharma to please come up on stage and ask Mr. Sandeep Shah, Honorary Secretary of our Indo-Japan Friendship Association, to welcome Mr. Sharma with flowers. And friends, we now want to show of course, I was in two minds, but I think the floral felicitations must happen now. You are going to be having, after the farewell and felicitations, a very special event today. And, it happens, not very common, that Gujarat can adapt something that is Japanese. It's not just showing a Japanese film or offering traditional Japanese food. I think for the first time in India, and also here in Ahmedabad, we are going to be having an Indian theatrical adaptation of one of the most celebrated films of the most celebrated Japanese director, Akira Kurosawa. As you know, Rashomon, the moment you speak Rashomon, Kurosawa's, great glamour comes to our mind. And based on Rashomon, we have a wonderful theatrical adaptation in the Indian context, and that is prepared by a very young and talented friend of ours who has also been an exchange alumni of our Indo-Japan Student Exchange Program. He is none else but Mr. Chintan Pandya of Fanatika Theatres. And I would request Mr. Nilesh Dave, our Honorary Joint Secretary, to friends, please welcome Chintan with a warm round of applause. Fanatika Theatre is going to specially perform for the Japanese guests this evening, led by Mr. Noda, this very special presentation. But then we want to, friends, take a small break here and see a film about a gentleman whom we call our friend, philosopher and guide. He came to India and Mumbai in May of 2017. And he's departing back, going to his home in Sapporo, Hokkaido, Japan, the end of this month. So it's just about 22 months. And can you believe it? How many times in 22 months he would have visited Ahmedabad and Gujarat? 5, 10, 15? 16th visit of Mr. Ryoji Noda. I think we need to give him a standing ovation for that. Because It only speaks volumes for the great Gujarat-Japan relations that have prospered during his time. And I was telling him, please be seated, I was telling him that it is perhaps unparalleled, not only in the diplomatic history of Japan and India, but probably in diplomatic history of any country's friendship with India, that a consul general, or for that matter an ambassador or senior diplomat, would have visited in such a short span so many number of times. I don't think you must have gone to the Indo-Japanese Association as many times, 16 times.
Maybe it's better to transfer from
Why not? We already have Jetro is transferred here, you know. So we can have of course, as friends, you must be aware of, the Japan Center has become the consular office here. But we want to take you down the memory lane for a couple of minutes. How fond memoirs we have with Noda-san through this small little clip prepared by our team of Malti Mehta and Dhara Shah, our very creative directors of the Film Production Management Institute here at AMA. We'll have the lights go off and we'll just enjoy the clippings. Yeah, stage also. Stage ni light band karo. That's good. Please. Catch. No. Please. Kishore. Just look at it. Yeah. Ajay? Don't worry. Even technology is feeling very heavy-hearted, Noda-san, to say goodbye to you today, you know. So it's shuddering. Light बंद कर दो ना. October.
हमारा मुंबई खातेना जापानना कॉन्सल जनरल श्री Ryoji Noda એમનું પણ આપણે ભાવભીનું સ્વાગત એટલે કરવું છે નીતિનભાઈ અને બીજલબેનને જાણીને આનંદ થશે કે એમના કાર્યકાળના 17 મહિના થયા. Noda sir, am I correct? 17 months of your tenure in Mumbai. અને 17 મહિનાની અંદર આજે ગુજરાતની આ એમની 13મી મુલાકાત છે. 13 times. એટલે સરેરાશ જો ગણીએ તો દર 5-6 અઠવાડિયે એમને ગુજરાત ના આવે તો ચેન પડતું નથી. મિત્રો આ ખરેખર તો એ વાતનું પ્રમાણ છે કે જાપાન અને ગુજરાત એકબીજાની કેટલા નજીક આવે.
Whenever we visit Ahmedabad and Gujarat, I highly appreciated the people's very kindness, warm welcome to us. Very, very appreciated. Thank you very much.
Well, that was October last time, after which we had 3 more visits. And October was Navratri, and he had a midnight flight. So he said, I'll enjoy the Garba. And we said, let's do the Indo-Japanese bullet train dance. So that was what you saw. A wonderful evening that we had. And I think, Noda-san, how many films should we show, considering the fact that we also want to listen to you from your heart? All the 3? Okay. We'll very quickly, because, he was very passionate to bring Japan in some of its most brilliant colors. We have 3 films of about 3.5 minutes each. It'll take about 10 minutes. And then his address, before that, greetings from the Japanese society, and then we will start the play. So let's enjoy this film. I think we'll pause here for a moment. Pause. Let's have the films just before the play. That will help us in 2 ways. They will set up the stage, and we will see the films. So please, can we have the lights? Let's do it the Japanese way, the best to plan, Okay. So then, I would request, before I invite you, sir, we would like to, of course, I'm sure, present, after this brilliant film, a very special souvenir we have prepared for him. A memento that I would like to present to our dear friend. May I request you to please come here, sir, so that we have the best of them. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And before I invite Noda-san to share his feelings, I would request Dr. Imai, on behalf of the Japanese society here in Ahmedabad in Gujarat, because as he was sharing with the media this morning, he has 341 Japanese residents registered all over in Gujarat, out of which over 111 are in your association here in Ahmedabad. So on behalf of all of us, I would request Dr. Imai to please share a few words, and then I would request Noda-san to respond, please.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Imae. I'm an MD of the Hitachi Haro. It's based here in Ahmedabad. Today I heard the news that he's retiring from here, but really sad news for me. No, Mukesh-san said that he only 22 months here in India. That is not enough for us, He's leading many projects. I'm actually living in an industrial war. Okay, he leading many projects like Ahmedabad Metro, dedicated freight corridor or something like this. So actually big surprise for me. He leading many projects like this. So I hope, but actually the time come. That his DNA transferred to the next person, and leading many projects like this. Now, Ahmedabad is here in Ahmedabad, very good place. The many information, spread over all the India. The Breton train is a very good opportunity, even for us and many Indian people. So I just want to say really thank you for the service to us I'm just an ordinary person here in India, so just very, very less time to see him. But we are very satisfied with Japanese consulate service to us. We also find it a very convenient that here in India. We always feel safe, and there are many information from the consulate. We are sometimes enjoying, sometimes we just got to know some risk over here. Or it's really very, very safe. Thank you for this, and really appreciate. And please enjoy the rest of your life and live the healthy life. Thank you so much.
It has been too much welcome to me, so I forgot what I should do in front of you. This is the situation. But anyway, I'm very, very happy to come back to Ahmedabad. And I'm also very, very happy to meet all of you, my friends, Ahmedabad. And I'm still remembering when I visited Gujarat for the first time in the year 2001, 18 years ago, when there were very huge earthquake in the northern part of Gujarat. I believe the region is called Kutch, or around Kutch area. The government of Japan immediately decided to dispatch an emergency rescue team to the ground in Gujarat, and I was a leader of the team, which included several Japanese medical doctors. This is the start of my relation with Gujarat, yes. And the earthquake was very huge enough and hit many, many villages, and some villages were completely destroyed. And I'd like to express again the deepest and sincerest condolences for the victims and affected villages and family members. And at the time, 18 years ago, I didn't expect to come back to this place after 16 years as Consul General of Japan stationing in this area. I'm very, very happy to come back here. And while I'm stationing here, I always think about why Japan and India can maintain and keep very close and excellent relationship. Why? I found out two reasons. One of them is Japan and India are not competitive. Japan and India are complementary. Thank you very much. It's very clear that India, which is very famous for IoT-oriented country, is very good at creating software. However, on the other side, Japan is very good at handling hardwares, which is a perfect match of the relationship, perfect match of the complementary, I believe. And the other reason why two countries can keep close relationship is India and Japan share the very important universal values in common. What is the universal values? Yes. Also, Mr. Mukesh said peace. Peace and democracy and freedom and respect of human rights and rules of laws. Based on such very important universal values, two countries can keep very close relations, and two countries can develop their relationship in the future for a very, very long life or forever. Without this kind of very important universal values, maybe two countries' relation cannot last for a long time, I believe. Anyway, I believe I am one of the happiest and luckiest diplomats stationing in this area because I witnessed very great development of India-Japan bilateral relationship. India and Japan have been special strategic and global partners. Under the partnership, both prime ministers of Japan and India visit each other respectively every year. In September 2 years ago, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe visited in Gujarat with Mrs. Abe. They visited only Gujarat, not any other state in India. That is amazing. And in the end of last October, in October last year, Indian Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi visited Japan successfully. Japanese government committed during his visit in Japan with the amount of 200 billion rupees for the 7 projects to be performed in India under the concessional year loan. Thank you very much. India and Japan has come to a new level or new phase, including the security. Therefore, we call the recent Indo-Japan bilateral relationship as the shared security, shared destiny, and shared prosperity. And economically, there are huge trade and investment between the two countries. For example, there are 1,441 Japanese companies are investing in India. Those Japanese companies have almost 5,000 establishments. Establishment means offices, their offices, branches, and factories. In Gujarat, there are 321 establishments. And as Mr. Patel expressed, there are 347 Japanese nationals residing in Gujarat. But those figures are rapidly growing because of Gujarat-Japan relationship growth. And it is very clear that JETRO in Ahmedabad make its best to promote trade and investment between the two countries. And in the offshore development assistance field, in the ODA field, India is the largest recipient of Japan's ODA. And happily, there are very important infrastructure projects in this area. The iconic one is, of course, high-speed train project, which connects very important two cities, Mumbai and Ahmedabad, within 2 hours. And last week, I attended the inauguration of Ahmedabad Metro. Indian Prime Minister also attended and initiated the inauguration. And this morning, there was a signing ceremony of Cultural Grant Aid to the Japan Information and Study Center. The signing ceremony was done between myself and Mr. Mukesh Patel, the president of Indo-Japan Friendship Society and founder and coordinator of Japan Center. This project is to provide materials, including books, as well as audiovisual equipment. And happily, I want to say, newly appointed Japanese teacher has just assigned at the center, Japanese center. I'd like to introduce Yumi. There's Yumi. Yumi-san there? Ah, Yumi-san. The Japanese Culture Center having newly appointed Japanese teacher, I'm sure the center will be very, very active in the future. And I forget what I say. Sorry. I'm very lucky diplomat stationing in this region. As I mentioned, I could witness very great development between Japan and India. And I feel we are in the 21st century. 21st century is a century of India to achieve many, many goals. India will be #1 population country in the world within several years. And according to the United Nations statistics, I believe the total population of India is expected to be 1.45 billion people. And with very high and steady economic growth rate, the half of the Indian population will be middle income group in the early 2030s. And two more things I want to say. India would like to host Olympic Games in 2032. Of course, there are some political considerations, but I sincerely hope that India will host Olympic Games for the youth of India in the near future. And lastly, according to a certain survey by Toronto University in Canada, the population of Ahmedabad will be double after 30 years. According to the survey, the population of Ahmedabad will be 12.4 million people. 12.4 million people. Are you ready for that? Are you ready? Nobody ready for that. I'm sure it is very easy to say, but there will be very huge burden, challenges for Gujaratis and Ahmedabadis, including urban planning, public transportation, environmental considerations. Now, what is Japan's commitment to India? Japan is ready to fully support India in various fields: investment, technological transfer, as well as even negative experience sharing with India, how to handle the air pollution, water pollution, and how to go with plastic trashes. And another commitment by Japan to India is Japanese government as well as Japanese corporations think much of very important spirits. Number one, building trust. Without trust, we cannot go to another step. The second is timely disbursement in constructions and manufacturing with very high quality. Timely disbursement with low quality doesn't make any sense. And untimely or late disbursement is over. I want to promise Japanese government and Japanese corporations think about timely disbursement with high quality. The third thing is safety net of people of India, which means protection of people of India. Now, let me wrap up what I said. The recent Indo-Japan relationship is more than excellent. In the 21st century, India and Gujarat are emerging, and Japan is ready to fully support India. But I think it is not enough. It is not enough. I feel both Japanese people and Indian people should know each other more and more. In other words, we should promote people-to-people exchange or cultural interactions. I believe the Japan Center as well as AMA, Ahmedabad Management Association, will play very important roles in the future. But I humbly request all of you in this venue try to help them to try to promote people-to-people exchange and cultural interactions between the two countries. Lastly, I sincerely wish all of you the great happiness, great health, and great prosperity. Thank you very much.
Respected Noda-san, your speech was really from your heart, and it has gone in our heart. So many visits to Ahmedabad, a lot of love, a lot of affection, a lot of cooperation, a lot of support. I think you mentioned that you feel lucky to be posted here after 16 years in this territory and be here. And we also feel lucky that you are here, and in these 22 months, we have done wonders together. And as you mentioned, for future, AMA and Japan Friendship Association are committed to do much more towards Japan Friendship Association, towards Japan's friendship, and doing a lot of projects together. First of all, I would like to thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Japan, and you, your consulate, for giving the grant assistance for cultural grassroots project, which is of around 38 lakhs, which he mentioned, that will enhance the potential of the Japan Association and Japan Center here to learn more and more Japanese language and know more about the culture of Japan and do a lot of tie-ups. I'm really thankful. This grant every year is given to only 5 projects worldwide. And we are very proud and happy recipient of this from the Mumbai Consulate. And as per my information or knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, Noda-san, that this is the first of its kind in India or in this region. So it is a matter of proud for us, and thank Uchida-san is a very supportive person from Mumbai Consulate, tireless and sending so many mails, seeking data from AMA and Japan Center, and ultimately giving the grant. So thank you very much to Uchida-san and the Consulate. I will not prolong this because there is a lot of interesting program which is going to be followed after this vote of thanks, but I would definitely put on record Dr. Imai. Welcome here, and thanking you very much for being with us today in this program. And we hope that you will continue this association in future also. And Kitamura-san, you have been coming to AMA, and it is our pleasure to welcome you again. And we will look forward to have more association with JETRO. I thank the dignitaries from the Japanese Consulate. Mr. Sharma is also here. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, I really thank you to be part of this function, and I'll not take more time. We will come down and have enjoying the films which is suggested by Noda-san, and after that we will go for the play. Thank you very much.
Stage while we also enjoy the films here. I think that should be good time for them to change over, and what will follow will be a very exciting Rashomon.
Across Japan, illuminations color nighttime cityscapes, luring crowds of people. On this street, a fantastical world of blue spreads out. You rarely find illuminations that are completely blue. It's beautiful, it wakes you up.
It's very beautiful. It's pretty a lot.
This facility boasts a world-class light show that uses 13 million LEDs. Incorporating cutting-edge technology, the illuminations entertain visitors. Using computers, a rainbow-colored illumination sparkles in the river. There's also one resembling a waterfall rushing down from a height of 66 meters. Such rich artistic expressions are made possible by blue LEDs developed by a Japanese person. This revolutionary technology, for which the inventor received the Nobel Prize in Physics, gave rise to LEDs of various other colors. Power-saving and producing little heat, LEDs are growing in popularity as environment-friendly lighting. At this venue, handcrafted illuminations are attracting attention. The garden, which overflows with colorful flowers in the on-season, radiates with blossoms of light in the winter. During the winter, there are fewer flowers. We thought it would be wonderful if we could portray common plants, and that's why we started this. Flowers of light as beautiful as real flowers. In fact, they were made by hand by the staff members here. The color of flowers isn't made of just one color. There may be white or dark orange inside. That's what creates such an elegant color, and that's what we wanted to portray. Recreating the colors of flowers was a process of trial and error. And their ultimate solution? There are 100,000 bulbs, and we started painting each one. We didn't compromise, modifying even the very fine details. And finally, we were able to make this. The staff members' passion and the subtle differences in color that can only be produced on hand are what allowed them to recreate the natural warmth of genuine flowers. It's absolutely wonderful. I'm amazed. Each one is impressively made. The work is so detailed. When you focus on every detail, whether it's an illumination or a flower, and when you get it right, the impression you leave on customers is different as well. The moment we see the happy faces of customers, we feel a sense of relief. That's what motivates us to make this every year. Illuminations enchant people far and wide. Cutting-edge technology from Japan and the dedication of creators to delight onlookers are giving birth to these heartwarming spectacles of light.
You've probably never thought about it, but springs are everywhere. These metal coils are made in an immense variety of sizes and strengths. Springs function due to their qualities of elasticity and compressibility. Normally, when a spring is compressed and then released, it should return to its original length with the distance between each coil staying exactly the same. Japanese manufacturers are renowned for the precision of their high-performance springs. Let's take the spring inside a ballpoint pen as an example. We're not talking about this spring. There's another, really tiny one inside the tip. It has a diameter of just 0.14 millimeters. This spring holds the ball in place and regulates ink flow. Japan is the world's leading producer of miniature springs like these. And Japanese engineers are constantly working to make springs even smaller and more precise. We do as much as we can by machine, of course, but more than half the work still has to be done by hand. Precision machinery can now mass produce millions of these tiny springs. A new world record for miniaturization. This 0.07mm spring is narrower than a human hair. It was developed to be small enough to pass through the brain's blood vessels for use as a stent. Springs show growing potential for a range of medical applications. At the other end of the size spectrum is a huge set of springs at the top of the 634-meter tall Tokyo Sky Tree. These are 1.2 meters long and weigh 800 kilograms each. They're attached to a counterweight in the top of the tower's antenna. Even slight breezes cause an antenna to sway, and if it moves too far off center, the structure might fail. The spring and counterweight mechanism in the Tokyo Sky Tree works to cancel any sway and brings the antenna back into balance. Even the magnitude 9 earthquake of 2011 didn't cause any damage. Ensuring precise spacing between coils is just as important for giant springs like these. Manufacture is done almost entirely by hand, requiring a high level of skill. Special care is needed when heating the metal to 900 degrees Celsius before shaping it. If any section becomes overheated, the spring will distort and the spaces between coils will become uneven. It takes an experienced eye to gauge the temperature and decide when to rotate the rod to maintain an even heat. This is not like mass production. We approach each spring individually because it's just not possible to lay down a set of rules for every case. We have to trust our senses and experience to get the precision we need. With no machines or temperature gauges, they're still able to make springs with micron levels of accuracy. Of course, machines are able to generate the kind of power that our hands can't, but it's the worker's experience and skill that determines how the job is done. In the end, everything depends on human intelligence. Mass-produced or hand-crafted, the high precision of Japanese-made springs is the result of long refined engineering skills. In Japan, biometric authentication is now an accepted part of daily life. Biometric authentication uses people's distinguishing physical characteristics to provide the most reliable identification. For example, scanning the unique patterns in irises or finger veins. One of the most promising of these technologies is facial recognition, a field in which Japan leads the world. The relative position and shape of distinctive features such as the eyes, nose and mouth are digitized to create a set of data unique to that person. At this music concert, facial recognition was used to ensure all ticket holders had bought their tickets themselves in person. venue entrance, scans faces and checks them against facial data registered when the ticket was purchased. The check takes about a second. What makes Japanese facial recognition technology special is its extreme accuracy in quantifying data on facial features. Advanced technology can take a two-dimensional facial image and turn it into three-dimensional data. This ensures reliable identification regardless of the angle at which the image was captured. It doesn't matter if you're wearing glasses or a hat, the system will still recognize you. It can even identify a person from a photo taken many years ago by predicting how appearance will change over time. This is done by precisely analysing features that don't vary with age, such as eye position. The technology is now so advanced, systems already in operation can identify people as they move around in public. Large numbers of people in motion can be simultaneously identified by cameras they may never notice. The security benefits of such systems include the ability to pick out known criminals from any size of crowd. Subjects are often looking down or away from the camera. This technology is good enough to precisely capture the data needed for identification even in those difficult cases. It's what gives this Japanese facial recognition its strong competitive edge over other countries. In a test by a US research organization, Japanese facial recognition technology led the world with an accuracy of 99.2%. Japanese facial recognition systems are now used in 40 countries. For example, the city of Tigre in Argentina wanted to make itself a safer, more attractive tourist destination. A facial recognition system using 1,000 cameras now scans the streets 24 hours a day, enhancing security and preventing crime. Japan continues to lead in revolutionizing facial recognition, helping make life easier and more secure for people worldwide.
Chintan?
Konbanwa. We're absolutely proud and privileged to present Rashomon, a musical play in Hindi which we adapted from Runosuke Akutagawa's short stories, Rashomon and In a Groove. Indeed, Rashomon, the film by Akira Kurosawa, is a very, very famous one, in which Mr. Kurosawa attempted to give an ending to the two short stories that he combined by bringing in the birth of a child. However, we wanted to keep the Rashomon syndrome impact intact. Over 100 years ago, when these short stories were written, there came to be coined a new term in the field of psychology, which was the Rashomon syndrome. And the play is focusing and revolving around that syndrome to give the same impact to the audiences. It was originally prepared and conceived in Hindi with over 7 dialects from the northern part of India, which included Garhwali, Kumauni, Punjabi, Urdu, Sanskrit and Hindi. It was adapted into English last year in summer 2018 when it was invited at the International Theatre Laboratory in Italy, where it received a standing ovation. And post that, this version has also been translated into French and Italian and is going to be taught during the summer school at La Sapienza, the University of Rome. in summer 2019. We're very glad to present this performance, but in a slightly different version today, considering the limitations of this hall. So the lights and the sets have been altered, and we welcome you to concentrate on the performance of the artists. While the songs are kept in Hindi, we are going to project the lyrics translated in English to give you an idea. The rest of the play will be performed in English. May I please request you to switch off your mobile phones? I beg your pardon. Switch off both your mobile phones. Enjoy the show. Fanatika and Transcendus Foundation present, based on Runosuke Akutagawa's short stories, Chintan Pandya's Rashomon.
प्रणाम साधु जी। Would you like to have some corn, Sadhu ji?
What are you doing here? Stealing corn?
No, 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 Sadhu ji. This is my farm. This is my corn.
But why are you here? While it has been raining so heavily.
My father told me to wait here. It has been 3 days and it hasn't stopped raining. I believe my father too is stuck somewhere. I'm worried about him. I'm also worried about my hut. I fear in this rain it will be inundated. I'm sick of this rain. I can't swim, so I'm stuck here. But Sadhuji, can you take me to the village?
Stupid. How can we take you to the village? All the roads are flooded.
Oh, is it so? But then, where were you during these heavy rains? Where are you coming from?
Where are we coming from? Where are we coming from? Horrible, horrible, Sadhuji. I can't get rid of this. Calm down, calm down.
What is he talking about, Sadhuji? What happened?
You will not understand. You are still a child.
Oh, Sadhuji, my father told me that he will get me married next month. I can have my own children then. Understand?
Oh, so Mr. To be a father, listen. There has been a murder and a rape. The emergency was so high that the punch called for the gathering in spite of such a heavy rain. The entire village had gathered to listen the testimonies of all those who were summoned. We are coming from there. What happened? Shocked? Never heard about a murder?
I have. You're talking about one murder? My father tells me there have been many, many murders in this forest. Go, look for yourself. You will find 5, 6, 17, 19, many, many dead bodies. My father says, nobody cares. This forest should be named as the murderous forest. Do you know why? It is all because of those Gora rulers. They don't care about us. That is horrible.
Horrible. Indeed horrible. Horrible. Everything is horrible. Every year, a series of horrible things. Droughts, floods, epidemics, wars. Every horrible thing is leading us towards the horrible destruction. But I've never seen or heard anything as horrible as what I heard today.
Then tell me what happened today, Sadhuji, to kill the time.
Would you like to tell him? Perhaps he can help you. I don't know where to start from, Sadhuji. I'm horrified. Those 3 people, that corpse.
Based on Runosuke Akutagawa's short stories. Cast: Nikita Sharma, Aditya Dhingra, Chaitya Shah, Harmit Brahmbhat, Aditi Chauradia, Rohitash Sarmal, Parth Parekh, Sanskruti Patel, Malav Vyas. Lyrics: Chintan Pandya. Music: Chintan Pandya and Ankit Christie. Vocals: Chintan Pandya and Ankit Christie. Djembe: Nishit Nirmal. Keyboard: Ankit Christie. Backstage production: Sanskruti Patel. It is during the 1850s. We are in the northern part of India, Uttarakhand, in the valleys of the mountain where the Jamuna river flows. There has been a murder. All of you are the villagers who have gathered here to listen to the various testimonies. Please be attentive.
बेचारा, चाबी है जुबान पे पर होठ पे उसके ताला है, पर होठ पे उसके ताला है, पर होठ पे उसके ताला है। ई का गजब हुआ, चाबी है जुबान पे पर होठ पे उसके ताला है।
राम राम साहब जी। Yes, साहब जी। I am the one who found that dead body. साहब जी, I went to cut Devda tree that morning, like every other morning. I found the dead body beneath the dense forest of Kokal Mountains. Yes, साहब जी. Exact spot. साहब जी, do you know the way to the Nolty? Yes, exactly. From there, about 150 steps away, there is this way that diverges into dense forest of bamboo and devdar. Exactly there, Sabji. The dead body? The dead body, Sabji? Dead body was in a blue kurta, lying on its back. As per his beard and turban, he seemed like a Sikh. And Sabji, he had a huge wound on his chest, which was apparently made by a sword. Sabji, everything around was broken. No, the bleeding had stopped. And as far as I remember, the wound has also dried by the time I saw it. And Sabji, I think before dying he had a row with someone. Because everything around, bamboos, grass, everything was crushed and broken. Also Sabji, a black fly, unusually big, was so much indulged into sucking the blood that it didn't move when I went closer. No, Sabji. I didn't find any weapon around. Sabji. I saw a rope tied against the devdar and this silver comb. Not for me, Sabji. I took it for my daughter. For my daughter, Sabji. And that too because my wife kept telling me, bring something for our daughter, bring something for our daughter. Nothing more than that, Sabji. Huh? What are you saying, Sabji? It is more than difficult for a human to venture in those forests. How can a horse, Sabji? No, impossible, Sabji. There wasn't any horse. Sabji. Okay, Sabji. Ram Ram. Ram Ram. Ram Ram.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Don't blame me for someone else's crime. Now that we have come so far, I will not hide anything. I will tell you the truth. That woman I didn't know who she was and where she went. I killed her husband. She ran away. 3 days ago, surely 3 days ago, I saw a couple crossing the jungle. That woman was riding the horse, and the man was holding the reins as he was directing them. Maybe that woman was Lady. Lady. One look at him and I knew that he is a warrior. How? How did I guess? His grip on the reins and his strong physique. Suddenly a gush of wind came, and her face was visible from her veil. That one gaze drove me wild. Simply drove me wild. At that very moment I decided that I will have her even if I had to kill her husband. Killing someone is nothing for me. Nothing. Kill people. I kill people. I'm not the only one who kills people. Everybody does so. By money, power, religion, caste, creed. Hey! I told you! I would not hide anything! But then, I changed my mind. I will not kill her husband. I will have her in front of her husband. Front of her husband. How I did it? With my cunning. First, I tricked him with a lie. I convinced him that I have hidden a lot of arms somewhere and I can sell them for cheap. Initially, he denied. But then, when I showed him my exotic sword, its sharp blade, he could not resist and got trapped. He had no idea. He had no idea that I have sharpened my blade by cutting many heads like his. Many heads like his. My scheme worked out. We had entered the densest part of the forest. I told him, at that banyan tree, end of this bushy path, that is where I have hidden all the arms. To tell you the truth, I could barely hold my laughter at his stupidity. He left his wife alone and followed me at once. Not a reflection, not a second thought. No bad. At reaching the banyan tree, we started digging. He was digging relentlessly, branded by greed. And I seized this opportunity and attacked him from behind and tied him to the tree. Rope? Do I have to remind you who I am? I, the shark, the dacoit. I always carry rope with me. climbing a wall, crossing a river, hiding in the cave. It could serve any time. Hey! Don't interrupt me! I told you I would not hide anything! Didn't I? Shut up! Shut up! He too kept irritating me just like you. Leaves, twigs, earth. I stuffed his mouth with whatever I could find. I hate noise. I just can't stand noise. I hate it. Hate it. And then I ran to his wife. Your husband has fainted! Hurry! Hurry! This way! You bastard! Ultimately, who can challenge the fate? I, Takshak, the dacoit, I killed her husband, and I admit that. I fear nothing. Nothing at all.
You, Jangli! Get up! Get up! You want to ask anything? Yes, sir. Move! Move!
क्या सत है क्या सत है क्या हम ये जानने को समर्थ हैं जिसका है आरंभ अंत उसका तो निश्चित है तो क्या ये चिंता उचित है तो क्या ये चिंता उचित है
Om Shanti. May peace prevail everywhere. Oh Lord, may truth and only the truth be established through my words. Yes, I remember. It was 3 days ago. That unfortunate man was heading in the direction of Mussoorie along with a woman. That woman... What was I doing there? I am a saint, a sadhu. My life is devoted to the Almighty and wandering in the search of Almighty. In spite of encountering any misfortune at any place or time. No, I could not see the face of the woman because it was veiled. But I do remember the color of her clothes. She wore a white scarf and she rode a beautiful brown horse with a beautiful mane. How tall was she? Perhaps 5.5 feet. एकस्य साधो यथावत सूक्ष्म निरीक्षणेन. Meaning, why would a sadhu like me would care for such minute details? I am narrating from what I recollect. Yes, that man had a sword, a bow and arrows. I remember. There were about 20 arrows in his quiver. No, precisely 20 arrows. I remember very well. I could not imagine that he would meet such a death. Especially when he's armed with 20 arrows. Hari, Hari. I remember my Guru's words. Manushasya जीवनम क्षणिकम यथा प्रातः कालस्य तुषार बिंदवः विद्युत प्रकाशच. Meaning, human life is as short-lived as the morning dew or lightning.
हरि ही करता, हरि ही धरता, हरि ही हरता. Do not worry. I assure you of my assistance throughout the investigation of this murder. I will not undertake any further wandering unless this mystery is resolved. Thank you. Om Shanti. May peace prevail everywhere.
दरिया जैसी गहरी है गहरा गर्भ समाए. पुरुष बुद्ध ज्ञानी इसके मन को समझ न पाए. दरिया जैसी गहरी है गहरा गर्भ समाए. पुरुष बुद्ध ज्ञानी इसके मन को समझ न पाए. निर्बलता की परत के नीचे क्या है शक्ति स्रोत. ये निर्बलता की परत के नीचे क्या है शक्ति स्रोत. ये नाम है अमृत गुण से किंतु विष का है विस्फोट. ये नाम है अमृत गुण से किंतु विष का है विस्फोट. ये दरिया जैसी गहरी है.
That dacoit, that evil, he was laughing shamelessly at my husband to humiliate him further after he raped me. I cannot even imagine what my husband must have gone through. The harder he struggled to break free, the tighter the ropes got. I was shattered. Yet somehow I managed to gather all my energy to go look for my husband, and what I found was an indescribable disgust in his eyes. Those eyes reflected his mind. Every possible thought that ran through his mind. There was no anger nor sorrow in those eyes. They just kept staring incessantly, making me uncomfortable, unbearable. It was so oppressing that I wanted to bury myself. Raped, oppressed, overborne, there was so much so that I fainted. When I came back to my senses, that dacoit had disappeared, but my husband, he was still tied up. I could still see those eyes, full of shame, anger, disgust. I can't do this. I just don't know how to put it in words. I can't. पानी मिलेगा. Eventually, I went to him. Please say something. Please. Anything. Why are you looking at me like this? Please say something. have seen me being raped. You cannot live with me any longer. Rather, I cannot live with you anymore. I have determined to end my life because I cannot live with the burden of this incident. But wait. How will that help? You too were a part of this incident. You too carry the burden of this truth. And it will continue to exist with you. And that I cannot allow. When I regained my consciousness, he was dead. I relieved him. Since then, I made several attempts to kill myself. I tried to slit my throat, jump off of a peak of the mountain, drown myself into the depths of the river, but I just could not. The burden of the memory for which I killed my husband is still as intact as I. There is nothing left in this world for me. I have killed my husband. I have been raped by a dacoit. And there is no soul left in me. Hey Vaheguru, am I damned to live with this? Am I damned to live with this?
अरे खुद की तारीफ खुद के हाथों मुल्ला ये मगरूर है, खुद की तारीफ खुद के हाथों मुल्ला ये मगरूर है। मियां मक्खन नगरे छप्पन गाँव में ये मशहूर है, मियां मक्खन नगरे छप्पन गाँव में ये मशहूर है।
Salam, Janab. Indeed, indeed, it is I who has schemed that. Not schemed. Trapped. Not even trapped. I have caught Takshat, that thief. Oh, no. He's not a thief. That robber. I have caught that. Not even a robber, Janab. Dacoit. I have caught that dacoit. And to celebrate this glorious victory, I was going to treat all of you with the custom-made sweets of rose, saffron, and cardamom. But Janab, after having tasted a kilo of sweet in each of the flavor, I saw a fly coming and sitting on them. Now, how could I bring sweets that were touched by a fly, especially for you? No. What? Oh yes, certainly Janab, I did. I had tried to catch him red-handed earlier too, but that thug escaped. Janab, that is when I swore to catch him and to catch him alive. And see, I caught him. Now, Janab, who other than me is capable of such a brave act, Janab? What? Oh. No, Janab, you obviously are. What I meant is that who other than me and you is capable, huh? Tell me, is there anyone who could do this? Is there anyone who could compete my skills? No, Janab, none other than me. You just remember to refer me for the promotion, Janab. Yes. Janab, I have a big nexus of informers at work. I knew that Takshak was hiding close to the river and would cross it for his needs. I was hiding there for many days, and ultimately my heart was paid off. And Janab, like a lion, I roared. Meow! Lion, I roared, Janab, and I grabbed him. Then, you won't believe what all happened, Janab. Kicks, punches, dishes here and there. And in the end, Janab, I grabbed him from the collar, and one from right, one from left, one from up, and in the end, Janab, I held him and from down. 1, 2, and 3. Janab, I finally put him down to his place. In fact, it was bound to happen, Janab. I mean, who could resist my force and skills? In fact, Janab, these dacoits should learn from me how to get... What? No, Janab. I mean, they should learn from me to use the power for the good of the people, Janab. That is why they are dacoits. And me? I am the Kotwal, Janab. But now, how long will I remain a Kotwal? My promotion? Yes, Janab, yes. Janab, when I caught Takshak, he was wrapped in rags as usual. And yes, he had a sword. Apart from that, oh yes, Janab, he had 17 hawk-feathered arrows. Now may I draw your attention? This is a matter of utmost importance and calls for immediate meditation. Think, Janab, and you also think, huh? How could such a bedraggled beggar possess 17 hawk-feathered arrows? No. Janab, I strongly suggest you to investigate further in this case, yes. And with that, I also suggest you strongly to recommend my name for the promo. Do not forget, Janab, do not forget. Yes. Huh? Now, what do I tell you, Janab? Everyone knows that of all the dacoits, Takshak harasses women the most. Do you remember the 2 dead bodies found in the Vanok Hill temple last year? Huh? Janab, I am more than certain that it is Takshak's deed. Yes, bloody bastard. I'll take your leave, Janab. Call me if you need anything and my promotion. Do not forget, Janab, do not forget. Yes, I'll take your leave. Oh, wait, Janab. I forgot to tell you the most interesting detail. Janab. Janab, this takshak, this dreadful, Janab, this takshak who has terrorized everyone, whom everyone fears. Listen. He got thrown off the back of the same horse that he himself had stolen. Now, this is what I call revenge, Janab. That if not any one of them, then at least the horse. Finally, someone is as brave as me. I'll take your leave, Janab. Call me if you need anything. And my... Allah Hafiz, Allah Hafiz.
Obscurity. Andhera. Obscurity. Andhera. I'm suffering in this obscurity. I'm dying in this obscurity. After raping my wife, that vagabond, that bloody Takshak, he started persuading my wife. Had that bastard not tied my hands, I would have torn him up limb to limb. I signed my wife several times that she should not listen to this rogue's fourberies. But all in vain. All in vain. She sat still, saddened. I sensed that she was listening to every word that this lecture pronounced. And that dacoit, that pig, was trying to convince my woman with all his wit and cunning. And she kept listening to him. She kept listening to him, looking pale and frail. Pale? Frail? My foot! That frailty, that helplessness, that weakness was nothing but a sham. I couldn't believe my own ears when she asked him to take her wherever he desired. I was furious with jealousy. I was furious with jealousy. I was shattered. Shattered within and without. Within and without. Then suddenly, I saw them elope. Elope in desperation, as if they always wanted to do so.
What should be done with her? What should be done with her? Should we kill her? Should we kill her? Hey! Hey! Answer me! Answer me! Hey! 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 Stay away! I pity you. I pity you. Therefore, I forgive you. Go! I forgive all your deeds. Now, I will leave you on your fate. Then suddenly the time stopped. Everything was frozen. I could see the heaven. I could see the hell. I could see the heaven and hell meeting each other. There was complete sheer silence all around. I was crying. My inner self was crying. My heart was crying. My soul was crying. I was broken. Broken completely. Outside, it was calm, quiet, peace. And inside, it was extreme, sheer distress. Obscurity.
Wait. I remember very well. Earlier you told me that he was killed by a sword. And now you are saying that he was killed by a dagger?
He was killed by a dagger, not by any sword.
But how are you so sure about that? That means you were lying earlier. Or are you lying right now? You were there. You were there, weren't you? You saw everything. You saw everything, didn't you? Tell me now. Tell me what is the truth. Tell me, speak.
It is very complicated. And I don't want to deal with it.
Complicated things are very interesting. I would also like to listen to this version.
I saw white dupatta on the bushes.
Eh, you already told me that. What happens next?
When I went further, I saw a man tied by a rope. His wife was sobbing sitting close to him. And that dacoit Takshak, I couldn't gather what he was trying to say.
Till this day, till this moment, I have done anything and everything I wanted to. I committed it to satisfy the animal inside me. But today, after having you, I don't feel complete. You come with me. Look, I, Takshak, the dacoit, I'm on my knees and asking for your hand in marriage. I will marry you. Come with me. If you say, I will stop living like this. Just one word from you, and I will stop being an outlaw. Just tell me. You want to come with me? You want to come with me? Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me!
How can I decide? How can I answer a question like this?
you just go and kill yourself?
Hey! Don't talk to her like that. Don't you know? Women are delicate, fragile, weak.
So weak I am. This is your condition because I am weak. You are tied in a tangle because I am weak. A mighty Khalsa warrior was defeated by a mere dacoit because I am weak. And the reason behind this grand victory of yours, this fateh of yours, my dear Fateh Bhai, is my weakness. And you want to have me because I am weak. You want to marry me because I am weak. You want to stop doing the disgusting things you do and spend the rest of your life with me because I am weak. Yes, I'm an absolute whore. Immoral and weak, of course. But what are you two then, huh? How can you call yourself a husband? Your wife was raped and you're asking her to kill herself. Coward! If you were a real man, you would have killed the man who did this to your wife. But you are not. Do you know what you are? Weak. And you, I thought Takshak would find a way out. I thought if you could save me from this weak man, I would have done anything for you. Weak. Just remember one thing. When a woman loves a man, she loves him fully. And that is her weakness. She's weak because she loves. But her love is not weak. It is strong, powerful, passionate. So let us see who's weak and who loves me. But why should I believe this? How would I know that you are telling me the truth this time? Whose truth is the truth? Who do I believe? This Fatehpal. Amrit Kaur. This dacoit Takshak. This Kotwal. Sadhu Maharaj. Or you.
क्या है सत्य क्या असत्य क्या तमस और क्या उजाला के मोती छल की डोरी अपनी अपनी सबकी माला इस जगत में अर्ध सत्य जैसा भी कुछ तत्व है इस जगत में
more minutes to introduce my cast. We have as the assistants for the medium who calls the spirit of the dead, Malav Vyas and Sanskruti Patel. As Sadhu, we had Rohitash Sarmal. As the woodcutter, we had Parth Parekh. As the son of the farmer, we had Aditi Chauradia. As Mia Makhan, we had Chaitya Shah. As the dacoit Takshak, we had Harmit Brahma. Fatehpal, the Sikh warrior, Aditya Dhingra. And Amrit Kaur, Nikita Sharma. On music, various instruments and vocals with me, Ankit Christie. And Nishit Nirmal. I'll thank you the sound operators, Dashrath Bhai and his team. We also thank you, this was quite a jugaad tonight with all the lights, so thank you Malti-Ben and the film department here at AMA for providing us some of the lights. This Noda-san is also something I learned as an exchange student in Japan. How to, on the last moment, work out the lights and other things. So I had seen a kabuki performance when I was in Japan. This was a very difficult choice for us, when especially something like this is done by a giant like Kurosawa, a film. But when we wanted to adapt it, we also wanted to adapt it on cultural as well as linguistic grounds. So in Hindi, we have different dialects from the north of India, and every character has a very, very prominent accent and sound with the songs. But we also did not want to go away far from the folk traditions, both of Japan and India. So the usual way of performing this is a different, but at the very special invitation of Mr. Mukesh Patel and the Indo-Japan Friendship Association as well as the Japan Center, we came here and performed it in a limited way on this stage, but I hope that you liked it. And there is so many different cultural differences between Japan and India, but there is also a lot of cultural similarities between Japan and India, and that is what we wanted to bring in every time during this performance, whether it is calling the spirit or medium, which we have in almost every region of India and also as an old tradition of Japan, but also the singing pattern that is there in the old classical theatre forms of Japan and in India as well. Also, we have tried to give a different version to the female lead in our contemporary society, where this story is being reinterpreted and reviewed, where the women are not so weak as we think of them. And so that is our own original addition to this adaptation with the permission, but this is how we wanted to imagine it. Mr. Kurosawa has given a different ending by introducing the birth of a child in his film, which suggests life and something else. We wanted to stick to giving the impact of the Rashomon syndrome, and the audience is judge. They can tell us who the killer is. A lot of times people, even after 2.5 years that this show has been running, they still call us and they tell us, oh, we can't have the dinner peacefully because we keep discussing with our members who the murderer is. But I thank you again. Thank you, everybody.
Performance and coordination were very, very impacted.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. And as we say, domo arigatou gozaimashita. And
our director, Mr. Chintan Pandya.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.